Now making her debut, her national television debut, as a daily ranter, our own Krystal Ball, our in-house optimist. Krystal, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Dylan. Mitt Romney made headlines this week with a boneheaded comment that he wasn't concerned about the very poor. Based on his economic plan, you'd have to conclude that really he was just being honest. Liberals like me cackled with delight at Romney's latest country club gaffe. Conservatives did what was described as a massive facepalm at Romney's continued foot and mouth disorder. It's not really news, though, that the plight of the poor is not the GOP's top priority. But where are Democrats on helping the truly poor? Have you heard much from any politician on poverty? LBJ's war on poverty was introduced in his 1964 State of the Union address. At the time, the national poverty rate was 19%. Today, the latest statistics have the poverty rate at over 15%. It's the highest level in nearly 2 decades. 1 in 5 American children live in poverty, and 1 in 3 black children. So what did President Obama have to say about poverty in his State of the Union address? The president has personally worked as a community organizer in poor communities, but poverty was barely mentioned in the State of the Union. Why? Well, poor kids don't vote, and poor adults are unreliable voters. There is no poverty super PAC. In other words, neither party gets any political scratch for fighting for the poor. The president did give a beautiful speech Thursday at the National Prayer Breakfast, where he spoke of caring for the least of these. But don't expect poverty to be a major focus of his re-election campaign. Both parties have adopted the same model: pander to the middle-class voters they depend on to get elected, serve the donors, corporations, and special interests who fund their campaigns. When it's time to cut programs, there's no analysis of which programs are most effective, most efficient. Funds are cut from the programs with the fewest lobbyists backing them, the fewest political donations dependent on them. As a result, it's successful programs like WIC that get cut. WIC, which provides nutritious food and health care to low-income kids and expectant moms. I am a proud Democrat, in part because I believe our policies do much more to help those who struggle most. But we've allowed the dialogue on poverty to be shaped by the Republican caricature of poor people as lazy freeloaders. Where are the voices screaming that the problem in America is not that we need to learn the value of a paycheck? The problem is that there aren't enough jobs. The problem is that our education system utterly fails the people whose fate is most tied to it. The problem is that too many of our politicians have forgotten to be voices for the voiceless. Dylan?
I think you found an issue, Krystal Ball.
Well, I was thinking maybe I should have talked about the Super Bowl, but this was weighing on me, so I went with it.
And I know that you're a young mom, and I know that that you've ran for Congress in the past around a concern for these issues. You're certainly in a great position to carry this agenda, and it ties nicely, obviously, with what we're trying to do insofar as a culture of investment in America is a prerequisite to the jobs that you're talking about.
Well, that's right, and it also ties into getting money out of politics, frankly, because part of the reason that poverty isn't a focus is because poor people aren't big contributors to political campaigns, so those issues just aren't brought to the forefront.
All right. Well presented. Congratulations on the first of what I'm sure will be many rants, Krystal Ball.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And thanks to everybody who's been joining us since this 30 Million Jobs tour has undertaken. As many of you know, I'm no fan of this town. However, that's wrong. This town is central to what we do, and it is for us to apply the pressure, not to reject it or abandon it, but to engage it. And I'm delighted to have the privilege of doing so with you and with them. I am Dylan Ratigan, and I look forward to seeing you Monday in New York. We're off to Texas for the back half of next week.